Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for today's world session. I'm going to, before I go ahead and start, I'm just going to begin by saying that my children are home today, and so there may be noise in the background. You may hear children, or they may even come down to get me. So just as a preemptive little note about that. So thank you for joining me. We're back in January 2022. And we're going to begin the session right now. So I'm tuning in to the session. And when I created these sessions to do these sessions in November no, I believe I started all the way in October. Excuse me, I'm already burping. So for those who are new, I burp not because I have indigestion, but I burp. But there's burping because the energy is moving. And as I tune into the session, the energy moves. There's many other body talk practitioners that yawn or take deep breaths so elegantly. I, on the other hand, belch. So just to give a heads up about that. So when I started these sessions, it was under the umbrella of abundance. And the first and what's coming up really strongly is not that there's a lack of abundance, but it's all of the walls that we build to shield against it. There's this mental fog. So there's all of this abundance. So if you think of money, there is no lack of money. There may be not enough in the account, but there is no lack. There is no lack of actual money. When you think about food, there is food, but not everyone has enough food. So lack and not enough are not actually the same. And abundance is all around us. I'm going to pause for a moment. And in comes this obstruction to abundance. So I'm going to use exactly what's happening now in my daily interaction right now with my daughter coming in. So you have this abundance around you. Everything, it's not that everything is hunky-dory, but there's no lack. And then life comes in. And then I had this plan, right? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do the session and not be disturbed, and in comes life. So you can use that to see how that happens in your own life. And right now we're in this consciousness of I'm on this one track. I have this one idea of how I think things should work out. I have an idea of how my bank account should look, my business should look, my health should look, my house should look, my relationships, and all of these ideas of what should be happening. And then in comes life and throws those shoulds right off track. And so we're in the part of the brain. We're in the deep brain. We're going right into the amygdalas first. And those are bombarded with shoulds. There they are. So the amygdala complex sits like two little almond shapes, either on one side, and they're responsible for the fight, flight, stress response. And I can see them pulsing and vibrating. So however this correlates to you and however this resonates with you and your body, mind in this moment, we're going in and doing an amygdala repair. We're going and it's being impacted by eighth chakra. So eighth chakra influence means past lives, hereditary. And we're going as far back. I'm being brought back into the potato famine. So specifically into Europe, we're going into Ireland. We're going into Eastern Europe as well. And then parts of Africa are showing up. So this is about, we're going to balance out these eighth chakra influences. So both hereditarily, so wherever your lineage came from, and also as a consciousness of a past life. So I'm seeing famine, struggle, disease, and extreme poverty. And there's this idea of accepting any scraps, accepting anything because I have nothing. Oh, that's so interesting. Oh, that's so powerful. I will accept anything because that is better than nothing. That is so powerful. And it's sitting right at the core. So it's not at the surface of the amygdalas. It's right at the core of the amygdala. So we're going right into the cellular structure of the amygdala, down into, this is being held within the fascial tissue of the amygdala and down into the mitochondria, further into the mitochondria, and that essence that gives life to the mitochondria within the amygdala complex. It's very powerful. The mitochondria is the powerhouse cell that gets everything moving, that organizes everything. And if the mitochondria are working with that consciousness of that eighth chakra, I'm getting really hot, of that eighth chakra, that I'll accept anything so that it's better than nothing. That's affecting the nervous system. I'm going to go ahead and balance that out. Take a nice deep breath. You may feel dizzy. I'm feeling this huge contraction around my throat. My prefrontal cortex is hot. I've gotten really sweaty, so there's a lot of toxins moving through with this. And we're linking that into the nervous system. Now the nervous system is our receptors to the world. And it picks up information and it relays information and gives out information. It's our little antennae to the world. And if the antennae, if our nervous system is, I guess, the frequency is to accept anything, to not have nothing. Well, could you imagine the things that you would put up with? And that would totally usurps section 7 of the thalamus, which is responsible for dharmic living. So dharmic living is putting yourself first. Oof. Well, there's a big release on that one. We're going to link those in, do a repair to the nervous system, and we're going to dump that consciousness from the nervous system of I'm willing to accept anything. Accepting anything is not the same as having abundance. Oh my gosh, or attracting abundance. It's not, it doesn't come from the same energy. That accepting anything has neediness to it. And it's very sticky. So we're going to dump that consciousness. We're going to anchor it to the heart, to dump that and move into alignment with I am abundant, or not I am because it's an identity, but there is abundance. There is no lack. Beautiful. And we're moving into the gut. I'm in the microbiome right now. We're in the small intestines and we need to do a gut repair. So this is looking like a digestive repair, but first we need to look at the enzymes within the small intestines. They feel like they're starved. Oh, my stomach just gurgled. So I'm in the microflora of the small intestines, and we're doing a repair to, I don't know who number 4 is, I'm not going to go ahead and look that up. You can look that up yourself, but there's different healthy gut bacteria. And we're looking at number 4, the 4th one on the list. He's a little wobbly, a little bit deflated. So we're going to do a circulation plug-in of blood, lymph, nerve, and qi to, from, and within that specific healthy gut bacteria to get him revitalized, get him working again efficiently well. So this has specifically to do with protein metabolism. So we want to ensure that the food that you eat is actually being digested, that the minerals and the vitamins are being, the vitamins and the minerals are being used, that the fats are being used for your brain, because you do need fats for a good, healthy brain, that the carbohydrates are being transmuted into energy for you, and that you're not draining on your ancestral chi from your kidneys. So proteins is coming up as an important part of metabolism. To use the proteins that you eat effectively for muscle regeneration, for muscle building, and all of the other wonderful things that proteins do. So there's a repair on that, and I'm going to link him. We're doing a Vivaxis, a body Vivaxis, and linking it into the rest of the microflora. So they're working together in tandem. So it feels like it's just disjointed. So this would come in with sugar cravings, candida is coming up, bloating, any gastrointestinal problems, whether it be diarrhea or constipation. Food dyes and preservatives, MSG, is coming up as something that debilitates the system. So we're going to dump those toxins, running a body chemistry to that one little guy, number 4, so he's not bombarded. And there's also intolerances coming up. So maybe not fully an allergy, but an intolerance. And this intolerance is coming up to thoughts about myself. So you can think for yourself everything that you think about yourself and how that weakens the system. Because the body doesn't know and doesn't understand jokes, right? So many people do this, like, oh, they make a joke about their fat. And I'm not talking about having a good sense of humor or making light. I'm talking about making jokes about yourself or saying mean things about yourself that you actually mean in a joking way. It's not the same thing as not taking yourself so seriously. So you can think about all of the mean things that you say about yourself, and that's weakening your gut. And with a weak gut, you're not able to discern. So not able to take apart the minerals in the foods that you eat. So there's some starving going on, even though you have food. We're going to dump all of this. It just needs it almost feels like the digestive system needs a full reset. But these thoughts that are coming in, thoughts about myself that I think are true, the mean things that I say about myself, or if my whole system feels like it's been turned like when you turn out a towel. Oh, so much conflict. So we're going to dump this as a pathological consciousness from the digestive system of misperceptions of self, anchoring it to the heart, so that we can go that this can just be dumped and coming in is a consciousness of gentleness. Gentle, gentle, gentle. And if you're forcing yourself to be gentle, that is not gentleness. That is still forcing. I'm trying to see if it doesn't want to be tapped out. This usually doesn't happen, but I'm tag teaming Caroline. Caroline, is there a link coming up?
Yeah, doing a repair, a sattvic repair on the gallbladder, and the way that the bile is pushed into the system, and the correct composition of bile salts. So I see that coming into the gut repair as well.
Wonderful. Linking that into the liver. And the liver is really important. It's such an important body part, such an important organ. It does so much. Oh, we're doing a few things to repair the liver. The liver in itself has 5,000 lymph nodes. Whew, and if those lymph nodes within the liver are plugged up, I am so hot. Oh my God, I am sweating on this link. If those lymph nodes are plugged up, the liver can become toxic and impaired in its functionality. Oh, we need to do this really gently, but there is a lymphatic flushing from the liver. Now, I cannot do all 5,000 lymph nodes. That is going to be too much. We don't want to release too much toxicity within the body. There is already a very crucial repair happening within the gallbladder that Caroline brought up, and also within the small intestines. But the liver does need a gentle flush. So we're bringing in the consciousness, the medicinal property of dandelion. There we go. Tincture and tea. So you can support yourself if you feel to. This is not a recommendation. It's something this is something I'm saying that's coming up in the session. Please do what you need with it. Make that decision for yourself. But dandelion is coming in to help flush out 100, and this is the most we can do for now, 100 lymph nodes within the liver. Oh, there. And that's all we can do for today. Implementation tap out. All right, everyone, tap this in for yourself. If you don't know how to tap, that is fine. I'm going to do it for you. Take a nice deep breath. Holy smokes, that was a big release. Holy smokes. I was not expecting that one. Please drink a lot of water. A lot of water. Please, at least 8 glasses a day. Stay away from caffeine as much as you can. If you do need to have a cup of coffee or a tea, please keep it to the minimum and hydrate well. And if you're feeling woozy, please rest. The liver is doing a big repair along with the gallbladder, small intestines, and all those consciousness dumpings. So please be gentle with yourself. We'll see what this transmutes for next week. Be well. If you need to re-listen or you'd like to share this with anyone, please go ahead and visit my website at www.mmarzak.com. If you'd like to donate to keep this work alive and well, and it's a beautiful way to support the energy, you can go ahead and do so directly off my website. Until then, much love and see you next week.